I guess
Live.
we're live. All right, I'll start. So I've won. My name is Steve. I own a wedding photography business, and we are here to talk about Google Plus and creating a successful business page. And I have with me Marianne Burgess.
Yes, ding, ding,
And if you
ding.
if you could just kind of give a brief bio of yourself and just conversation, the agenda, etc., etc.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm Mary, and you guys, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Steve, for setting this up. I am a photographer. I'm a portrait photographer, and I've been in this business roughly on and off for 10 years, believe it or not. But seriously, in the last two or so, and I, like anybody else, have been just trying to, keep up with technology because so much of social media counts so much for just reaching out to audiences. And for us, small business owners, because what it comes down to is what we are, to reach out to the mass audience is hard, particularly if you don't do advertising. I know some of us do, but particularly if you don't. And even if you do, you always looking to reach out for more. And it really piqued my interest with this whole SEO thing. And just I should preface this by saying I'm not, I didn't come into this being an expert. Everything I've learned, I literally just glean from the internet. And what I can say, what I took from what I read, made a difference to the traffic it drove to my website. So I'm here to hopefully share, the wealth and what I've known. So learn from all my readings for hours and hours.
Excellent. So at this point, I'm gonna switch over so that everyone can actually see instead of my face, it'll be an actual computer screen. And
Okay.
so Marianne is gonna, um, as I'm gonna create from scratch a new Google Plus page, and so Mary will just walk me through it while I actually create it. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask it more on the tail end so that I'll try to think of any relevant questions that we may have on the way. Otherwise, there's a chat box that you can use to type your questions. Okay, so screen share. That's right. All right. Um, so this is the Google Plus homepage,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like from here you go to Home
Yes.
and Pages.
And just give me, while you do that, Steve, I'm just going to go on over and plug onto a desktop. This will help me to just be in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready to move? Yeah. Okay.
And from here, um, you would, it looks like in the top right, get your page. Click on that. Then, so which option from here should I choose?
You want to choose storefront,
Okay.
or at least that's what I chose, storefront.
Okay. And
And
here,
with the And so what I did was I typed in my physical address.
do I have to put in an actual address, or can I put a fake one in?
You know, you can, and that's what I did, but Google wants you to put it, they want a physical address for your business. So what my workaround with that is I made up an address that was close to me, and that was approximate enough so that you can create your page because at press time, you're not able to create a Google page without physical address.
Do they send any kind of verification that that you're at the address?
They did, but you don't have to have that on your page.
Hmm.
In other words, you can go in and edit that, and you'll still maintain your quote unquote status with them.
Okay. So I'll create. Let me look up somewhere that's close to me, and
Hmm.
um, pick something that's right on College Ave at Rutgers. 100 College Ave. So here it says search by business name. What happens if I would type in my business name?
So you know what? Go ahead and do that because I'm curious because I know that you had started with the page and see let's see what it leads us.
Doesn't look like anything came up. So then, would I click add your business?
Right?
Right. So adding the name, street address. Can I leave the phone number blank?
You may at this time, yes.
What about this option here?
I can't see what you see, so quite
It
so
says
good as
I deliver goods and services to my customers at their location.
uh, is there another option?
It's either check it or don't check it.
You could leave it unchecked.
All right. So looks like I am authorized. It has the address. Click continue.
Yep.
So it says to mail me. Would I
Yes,
click to continue and verify?
that's correct because to verify your business with Google, you have to email this flyer thingy, which includes this code in which you visit the page, put in the code, and verifies your business.
Okay. So then click continue and verify later.
Yeah.
All right. Skip tour or get started.
It's kind of
It's
small on my phone. What's that
it
first
says
option?
it says basically you can click on the tour or just skip the tour.
Skip the tour. Yeah, you don't want the tour now. It gets a little more.
All right. So
So is that you?
looks like it's me. So what's the next step at this point?
So is it, to confirm, is the Liquid Fusion, is that you?
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay, so then you have your page, but if my memory serves me right, you haven't been, so this is the very first time you walk through this specific stuff, correct?
Correct. So this will be my official page.
This will be your business page. Okay. So you actually, Google does not recognize you yet because it does. You still have that one step of verifying your business because this is the first step in this process of setting up with Google. So at this point, they're going to mail you, like I said, this sort of 4x5 mailer, sort of welcoming you to Google Plus, along with a code that you revisit the page to do the step of verify. Once you have done that, then Google will officially recognize you and have you verified as a business.
So, what do I do considering I put in a fake address?
Um, my first step, actually, I didn't put in the fake address. When it came time to verify, once I have that page set with the real address, because there's really no real way about that. But once I have my business set up with Google, then I went in to edit and change that address to like 2 doors down. That's what I did.
Okay.
So in other words, we actually have to go back and you have to put in your real address. And I'm sorry, because I actually forgot that step. You have to put in your real address.
All right. So I'll put in my real address.
Yes, I won't look.
Well, it's on YouTube, so everyone can see it. But if they really want to find me, they could anyways.
And I know of people who set up a Google page um, I think in the earlier days of the inception that they were able to put in just by area of location. In other words, New York City and would suffice. But when I set it up, it asked for actual physical address. And I was a little leery at first, and I went with it, but I was able to edit after the fact, so I feel better about that.
Okay. So at this point, what would be the next step?
Okay, so you had put in the physical address?
Yep.
Okay. So what's that blue tab over there that's on the page? Sort of
Um, the blue tab.
Yeah, that's
This middle
on
part,
lower right.
right here.
That's yeah. What does that say?
So it looks like there's different aspects: share, insights,
Hmm.
reviews, start Hangout,
Okay.
and under share is share update, insights,
Okay.
verify now,
And these are
reviews.
all yeah, and these are all the functionalities of your site. What are those locks saying right now? What's underneath the locks?
I'm sorry, under which part?
The the lock. You see, there's two lock symbols.
Verify your business to get insights.
Okay. Is that
So it
clickable?
looks like it's not clickable, but I think it's either verify here
Hmm.
or verify on top.
Okay. There should be something in there that allows you to get verified.
Should I click on this link then?
Yeah, you can try that. And I apologize, like I said, I'm looking this up for my phone.
Fine. Alright, so now these match. And then, as you said, mail me my code. So
Yep,
should I just mail it?
there you go.
Alright. Name and postcard.
Yep.
Empty.
Now that wasn't so hard, was it?
Alright, and then click continue. Skip tour again.
You can do the tour or you can opt out, but basically the long and short of it at this point, wait for that postcard. It's going to have a code, and then you'll log on back onto your link to your site and verify your business.
Okay. So what will be the next step here then?
Uh, there really is no next step. There's not much you can do until you have full functionality of your site, of your page rather, and that won't happen until you get verified. But I can kind of walk you through different functionalities of Google Plus page, and I have this in front of me. Um, if you scroll down a little bit, see, okay, so you have the different. elements here. You have insights, you have reviews, you have Google Analytics, which is actually very important.
I don't see analytics on mine yet.
Yeah, those of all these, I find the analytics really insightful. Um, Go ahead and click into that if it allows you. I know there's
No,
nothing that.
yeah, there's no
Uh,
option even for analytics.
that's interesting. I wonder if that comes in and once you have the site. But there is, and I'm sure you've heard of it before about Google Analytics. It basically it's all the data about your website and its traffic, um, where it's driven from. It even goes down to the nitty gritty, like whether it's coming from the PC or Mac. I mean, it's that crazy.
So maybe the next step would be to continue this like 2 weeks from now once I actually get the postcard,
Yeah, at this point you get the postcard,
and then
and
walk through the actual next steps.
yeah, and the next steps with again, it's going to have a code, and then you're going to go back to your page and enter that code to verify um, your page, um, verify in essence your business with Google.
Okay. So I guess at this point it would be logical to not proceed in the walkthrough, but then
I mean, as much as
um,
I think we kind of quote unquote walk through as much as we can without having that other step of verification.
um, true. I think what other tidbits then would you like to offer?
Uh, I What I can tell you is that well, let me ask. I know everyone. I don't know if any, I think everybody's audio is muted, but I wonder how many people have Google Plus pages already.
And
Um,
so I think at this point we can just kind of make it more open ended,
yeah, I'm
and
thinking that.
so we can just make this more of a chat function rather than a walkthrough, and then we could do the walkthrough at some other time.
Oh
So
yeah, what? Yeah, we actually walk through, or we can walk through up to this point actually.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you should be able to edit your phone number and things like that before the verification process happens, can't you?
It looks like I can. So maybe
So,
I can go through that.
and you should be able to add your images and all the rest of it as well. So it's just basically until you get that verification process, that page is not going to be live. That's the way I
Right,
understand.
and
Is that
some of
correct?
those functionalities will. Yeah, that is correct. Some of those functionalities are enabled, some of them are not. For example, the analytics didn't show up, and that's sort of unique to Google Plus and valuable actually to Google Plus. So that didn't show up. So that's curious to me. But you know, things like adding photos, links, content, you could begin by doing that.
So I'll leave this up to the group. Do you want, should I walk through the beginning steps, up to how much I can do without the verification, or should we just leave it till next time?
In terms of, if I could just in terms of loading images, I mean, that part is not really any different than loading images to any other social media or site. So that's the reason why I didn't mention. But yes, by all means, if you have galleries, if you have photos, if you want to go ahead and add a cover page as a sort of a stand-in for now, by all means, go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll just go through then and enter whatever I can. What did you put in with the hours?
That's that's a tricky one because I actually, just to cover all bases, I put in just like 9 to 5. Just really, I think that without storefront. I just left this sort of open-ended, sort of standard 9 to 5. Um, Unless you guys have set hours, that's just sort of standard what I put in. No one has held me to those yet, so it worked out fine with me.
And what you put in, so on there looks like this map and search photos,
Yes.
and it says add a photo for your business.
Yeah, you could do that. You just sort of like add a photo of yourself or, some kind of avatar.
Would it be better to put a photo of myself or my company logo?
Uh, I'm kind of mixed on that. I tend to think that with logos, they tend to get kind of lost. I find that a picture grabs better. So if you ask me, my preference is to go with a photo of yourself.
Okay. Then,
And that could be very personalized, but I just feel that that's more attention grabbing than a logo.
all right. Then let me find a picture of myself. Oh wow. Is there any size specifications, or it'll just automatically resize it?
Just grab something, it should be okay, as long as it's not uber big or uber small.
Okay. So looks all right. So I got the top part finished.
Okay.
What is so add photos? As you said, is just any of my photos. You know.
Yeah.
So would I want to put like other photos, like just other, since I do wedding photography photos here?
You mean for the cover art? Yeah, totally. So yeah, give it your biggest, glammiest, shiniest. That's what you want for the cover.
All right. Um, is it black and white better or color?
I tend to go with color because my experience that people gravitate to color more. But and I love black and white, but people just in general, I find it they just respond better to color.
Okay. So
Like I said, the big bright ones, your money shot. You want something like that for the cover.
so that one. And is there how many photos should I upload? Just as many as I want.
You talking about for your cover?
For this part right here, it says map, search, and photos.
Oh, okay. So that's sort of when people do search, say they're looking under your business name, and when it
Okay.
comes up, and it's like a little like a gallery of images. So you want like a nice bunch in there, sort of representative of your work. So you want to have about at least 10 in there, so it looks sizable. So when people click and find you, they see right away their pictures right there, sort of like representing you already.
I'll add one more just for now. Then that one.
Yes. You want to talk about optimization for your photos? that might be a separate conversation. But in general, I size them 1550 on the wide and I keep them at 150 dpi, and I do shopping at 50% before saving to web. So that's been my optimization, and so far everything comes out pretty crisp. I think no complaints on my end.
So 1550 wide. Um, what was DPI?
What,
Which DPI did you say?
yeah. I mean, I do download as it to 150 dpi. Mine are pretty big when they started.
So I
Mine is
have here 250 wide, 150 DPI. What was the other specs you said?
Well, 1550 on the long, yeah, pixels on the long, and the downside to 150 dpi, and um, I also shop in it, but I do this all in Photoshop prior to, so I have that Google Photos ready. If you want to shop in at 50% after you compressed it, and then shop in at 50% and then save to web.
Okay. Sharper.
And I always save mine as PNG files.
Save as PNG. So when you upload it to Google, it's PNG file?
Yeah.
Why PNG? Why PNG? Why not just a JPEG? Why as PNG? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. A lot of people will optimize their keywords. In other words, instead of naming your image DC as 1025, they'll do DC as cute cat or something like that. I haven't done that yet, and I'm hearing that keywords are actually not as important as the content of your site, meaning that the more you write and the more interesting content like blogs that you put on your website, that's what's driving the traffic, because Google will see that as relevancy, that there's activity on your website. I could be incorrect in saying this, but this is the trend that I'm hearing, that keywords is actually not as important.
Okay. All right. So then let me click save here. Production. It looks like I've done what I could. So this
Well, you can still add that cover photo.
Which cover?
The cover photo. In other words, you added your picture that represents you. Now, when you go back, go scroll back up on that other page where you have that landing, where you have that cover image area. There should be a tab there to upload an image. Not the page back. Go back to your main page. There you go.
Like there's multiple ones now, right?
Right. So then you can choose your image.
So you said choose an image?
Well, there should be a button on that area for the cover photo.
I don't see any options.
Go on my page. There should be an edit button on top. It's there.
It's going to this one screen. So when I click edit here, it shows these pictures. It doesn't look like, though, at least at this juncture, an option for a cover that I can see.
No, there should be. Hang on.
Ooh, this is virtual tour.
Yeah. that's real good for you, Steve, for the other stuff.
So it's just you can do a video of a 360 of your location. Is that what it is?
You can add, yeah, you can add versions to it. Right. If you, let's say, doing a showing on an apartment, you could do a wraparound 360 of that and upload that as your visual tour.
I was asking you to put it on here.
David is down. Are you hitting a wall with that, Steve?
I am. I
I know that it's there, and I've been booted out of my spot, so I know that it's there, and like Facebook, where you have the option to change covers or add covers of photos, is the same. It really works the same. It's just finding that magic button.
I found
I
it.
can't
So
see it.
in this Liquid Fusion, when you hover over this part, the screen, so not the picture, it gives you the option to click a picture. So
Cool.
this is where I would do. There it goes. So there's the profile picture here.
Right.
Looks like there is an analytics button now
Okay.
here on the bottom. So
Go click into that. I know there's nothing in there because it doesn't recognize you yet, but just go into there so that I think we can all take a look.
all right. So clicking get started.
So okay, so you got essentially kind of a sort of a blank page, but once you're hooked up, and I think some of you guys who have Google pages can attest, it's a wealth of info, almost too much info. But it's important that you do take a look, and I look at mine daily to see what drives the business, or what drives the traffic to your website. It really helps me to tailor the way that I structure my website. Want to say that it's really important too. Before I started my Google Plus page, a lot of my leads have been coming from word of mouth, but some through Facebook. And when I had the Google Plus page, I physically, I felt the difference. There were more leads that were organic to Google Plus, and I think that for that reason alone, it's important to have one if you're a small business owner.
So the Google Analytics, you can link to your Google Plus page.
It's part of your Google Plus page. It's not only that, but it's part. I wouldn't say it's part of your website, but it directly reads your website. The inner makings, if you will, who's visiting it, what hours are they visiting it, the gender, age, population. It gets down so that if you advertise, let's say, then you can really aim at that population.
But will it actually show? So I have Google Plus right now, as you can see, for my websites. But I'm wondering, is there a separate link for Google?
Oh, you have to link it. You have to.
And so then the linking of
A separate link for Google Plus?
Yeah, would I have to wait for the verification then?
You do. And once you do, then you have to link your website to, because right now, what you have there is a Google Plus page. It knows that, Steve, you have this business, but your Google Plus page does not know your website from Madam, because they're not connected right now. They're not looking at each other. Once you have them linked up, then it's like, you're set. Then it's connected. Sort of like plugging, putting the plug in, if you will. It's connected. It starts getting data off of your website.
All right. So we actually got a good amount done today. I think.
So this is so you actually have a Google Plus. You just set up your Google Plus page.
That's what it looks like. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it only gets more awesome from here. There's a lot of tweaking still, and we can certainly do another hangout for the after verification when you actually have your website. We can do with we can do one on linking websites and about the functionalities after. It gets real fun.
Cool. All right. So I'll probably set one up then, maybe 2-3 weeks from now. But,
yeah, once you have the postcard and you do the verification.
Cool. So, but at this point, just to be mindful of time, in the last 10 minutes, we want to leave it open to anyone that has questions.
Yeah, please. But from what I can see, everyone's muted. Do you have to unmute them, Steve? Or?
I think I have the ability to unmute. Oh, yeah. I did.
I'm hearing people. Hello.
I think the people can actually do it themselves.
Sure. I'll introduce myself, and then Mary, and then we can go around.
That would be great.
My name is Steve Kang. I'm a wedding photographer, and also I do wedding video. I've been in business about 4 years, and so things have been great in the wedding business. And I do know that Google Plus, because Google really is trying to integrate everything within Google, is essential to SEO. Which is part of the reason why I wanted to have this hangout. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I mean, it's my name is Mary Yan Burgess, and I am a portrait photographer here in New York City. And like Steve said, I think that if you're a photographer, if you're any small business owner today, you actually cannot afford not to have a Google Plus page. Presence, social presence, is important. And that cannot be overstated. You have to be out there to stay out there, if you know what I mean. And the irrelevancy in the words in the Google world means death to business. You want to stay afloat, and in order to do that, Google Plus can more than help. I really do think that. I think there's one person that's muted. Not sure if that's Emily.
I think everyone's unmuted now.
Except for one, I think.
Anyone else want to do intros?
Yeah, I can do one. My name's Warbati. I've been in sales and marketing for over the last 30 odd years, and started to do internet marketing, whichever that encompasses. So it encompasses things like how to get sites ranked, how to do other people's websites and things. So I started off with Google Maps and Google Local. So we did pretty well with that, with selling that to local businesses. So we used to make Google Local pages for them. But then everything has obviously changed with the Google Plus platform, and how Google Plus wants everybody to interact. So the reason I came on the call was just to see, of the finer points of doing the Google Plus pages. But I managed some pages for some other businesses, so I was just looking for tips on how to do it correctly.
Well, I'll go next then. Hi everyone, my name is Alexia, and I'm in portrait photography. I'm here in New York City as well, and I've been in business. Well, this would be my first year as a full-time photographer, and I recently am redesigning my webpage. So I found the Hangout, and I thought it was, a cool idea. And as Steve was doing it, I was doing it myself. So I got my
awesome
Plus page up now.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was cool. Thanks, Mary, for sharing with us, and thanks, Steve, for organizing it as well.
Yeah, and as I was talking to Steve before we actually went live, by no means am I any kind of website expert prior to setting up my Google Plus account. It's all just old-fashioned, looking it up and doing the research and spending the hours and reading it up. I mean, the inner nerd in me just did not want this opportunity to pass up. I need to get this. I will get this, and I got it. So it may take some go around. You may have a few hiccups, but be out there. Get that Google Plus page. Like I said, you really do. You cannot go without it. It's your face out there.
Yeah, that's what I had heard too. That you can't go without it. It's very important for business and for driving more hits and everything.
Yeah, I cannot say. I cannot overstate the importance of having your presence, particularly with Google. Now that it's a Google world, basically.
Oh,
hi, Juan. That's where you are.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of muted myself and I didn't put my video on purely because I thought you guys were going to go through all the steps and everything.
I love seeing live people instead of generic, cutouts.
Yeah. I mean, of course, when we got to the Q&A part of it and everything, then I'm quite happy to obviously be live. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of run a website called YourOutsourceCompany.com. So we actually work with a lot of businesses and everything, and we build like websites for them, and we do the. Yeah, and it was more the Google local places because that's what it was called. So that's really why I was on this call, is to learn more about the Google Plus local businesses, because that's that's the one that's getting found in search and everything. And
my understanding, that's the relevant one. That's correct.
Yeah, so that's the one that's taking over, and they're the changes. So that was one of the things that I was going to ask you as well, Steve, as well. I mean, obviously, all you guys seem to be photographers, but obviously I found, obviously I'm a friend of somebody on Facebook, and I was invited to the event, so I gladly joined it. But Steve, what I want you to do, if it's possible, when you uploaded them photographs and you put them on your G Plus page, did you actually go to the actual? Are you on Windows or a Mac?
I'm on Windows.
You're on Windows. Can you actually go to the original files of them pictures? Because there's something that I learned about optimizing photographs. Now we used to do that for Google Places. For business, as opposed to the G Plus, so I'm sure it probably would still work. And I'm not, this is what I meant when about optimizing the pictures. So if you can actually go to one of the pictures, Steve.
Okay, here's one.
Okay, well, can you right click and go properties? Yeah.
All right. Right click, properties.
Okay, and I can't see your screen properly, and then it's got. Let's have a look. Security. It's got.
Just give me a second. I'll make it a little bit bigger.
In fact, what I may have to do is just before you do that, I'll have to go to one of my pictures first. Let me just go to a picture in my thing. And you're on a Windows machine, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. It should be easier to see now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Hang on 1 second. So if I go right click, properties. Yeah, great. So let me see if I can actually do this. Okay, so the photo name is just like it's just like a generic name there, yeah. So you can
Yes.
actually change the name of that photo, and you would kind of name that like either your business and then like a keyword.
You know, I have heard something to the effect of that. My problem is that, I mean, I don't know, and other photographers can jump in. We shoot so much, and you can only name cute cat or cute girl, you know, '01, and keep tabs of those naming conventions. I have heard of people doing that. Has anyone here have done anything like that in terms of
But actually,
keywording?
that's it. And if you go to like details now,
Okay, so I changed my name to the Confusion Photography New Jersey Weddings Science Center. That's the long name.
so that's the picture name now. And if you go to details, then you should be able to.
Okay, I'm in details now.
Okay, you should be able to then change subjects and things like that.
Sub through. Mm,
If
oh.
not, I'll do.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I'm in the subject line.
So
What I
whatever
put?
the subject is, and like if you guys are just for photographers, then obviously, you know, if you like, some of you are wedding photographers, you would then put the subject, you know, wedding of so and so, and that keyword would then get searched on Google and G Plus for that for that keyword of wedding. You see,
Okay, so
so
weddings
rather
here, Liberty Science Center. So when someone searches for Liberty Science Center, you're saying this would show up?
yeah, you know, you should do it. I mean, just gives you more keyword relevancy. So that's what I meant about
Yeah.
Actually optimizing your pictures before you actually load them to your G Plus account.
So, why, if I could just ask, so in other words, that's injecting the keyword so that it's embedded into that file.
It's embedded into the photos, so basically you're going to show up on the normal Google photo search, and your Google Plus page is actually going to think, well, hang on, this guy is actually a wedding photographer, and it's that. So you would actually, you know, the subject would be, you know, wedding photography, Liberty, and then you could actually then turn around and say, you know, I don't know, you know, I haven't optimized for wedding photography people, but then you could actually turn around and say, you know, wedding picture at the beach or whatever, you know, and there would be another kind of key thing, you know, and you just delete them, put a comma and separate them.
Okay.
So you'd have your main keywords there, so you can actually still keep track of, you know, your client photos, but then you actually, if you're uploading your client photos or you're uploading these things on your own page, at least you've got the photo optimized, because most people just turn around, I mean, what's normally the description is taken with a Kodak so and so on such and such a date. Well, you've just optimized for a Kodak or whatever, you know, I don't know what photography equipment you guys use, because I'm not a photographer.
Right.
But that way, you know, that's what normally just happens is whatever the camera is and thing just, you know, just automatically gets embedded into that picture.
Right.
And this is a way of changing this, so you're actually using some keywords. And obviously, you know, don't over abuse it and stuff the keywords. And you do this before you upload your photos.
Right.
So you do that with your cover photo. You would do that with in fact, in any images that you actually get before you load to your G Plus pages, and even to your websites.
The subject line here, either Mary or Alexia, do you know whether or not you can, when you export from Lightroom, it gives you the ability to change the subject line?
I think you have the option of changing that in Lightroom. I know, and this I know for sure too. I don't know who hosts your site, but with me, I'm with Zenfolio, and within Zenfolio, you have the option of doing that as well, inserting keywords and metadata. So yeah, and these things are important.
Yeah, but that would
Good to know.
be on your actual website as opposed to the actual doing it on the image, and that's
Oh
what
no, no, yeah, no, yeah. This is actually no on Zenfolio. Once you there's the option of going through each photo actually and going into their properties, if you will, and changing or rather putting in the keywords and metadata, and you can do that with individual images. Or
Right.
you can, or they have, yeah, and you have the option to batch process your metadata, so you don't have to type, New York City wedding photographers a million times, So
That's what I was thinking. I mean, it's saving the
Yeah, you
time.
can batch
You don't
it.
have to do it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So you can batch that. At least in Zenfolio, you can batch it.
Okay, yeah, well, cool. I mean, you guys are photographers, so obviously you've got programs to be able to do that. But like a normal person, if they're on Windows, they'd have to do this for every image. But
Oh, absolutely. It's a good tool. It's a good tidbit. Absolutely, I agree.
So I mean, I don't know if that helps you guys for just optimizing your photos before they're uploaded to, in fact, any site that you put up, whether you put it up on your website or whether you actually put it onto Google Plus or Facebook or anything like that.
Yeah, that's great to know. All right,
Totally.
just for the second time, I was trying to cut this to an hour, and it's now 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna actually end the hangout here. I'll definitely set up another one 2 to 3 weeks from now. Just look out for the invite. But just want to thank, especially Mary,
Great.
for
Thank you again.
yeah. Thanks, Mary. And
Thank you, Mary. That was fantastic.
You got it.
thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Ciao.